friends and neighbours, as we go down the suburban streets where you were brought up. Yes, the suburb and the school, your first job and dad's car, your favourite meals, birthday parties, games with the mates. What were they? Where did Mum do the shopping? Perhaps, where did you get married? Those early days, your new beginnings in Melbourne.
Yeah, maybe you went yabbing down the Yarra.
Yes, you could have.
Yeah.
Where was that first home? Out in Reservoir. Perhaps it was a brand new estate. Could have been a brand new weatherboard house.
How cruel we were, those cicadas that were sort of screeching through the summer. We'd pour water into the cicada holes to make them come to the surface.
Who did that?
Oh, we all did.
Never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, that was very cruel.
Very sadistic.
We drowned them out, yeah.
Very sadistic.
Yeah.
A rather stupid memory.
I think I had the devil in me. But I've got over it now.
What else did you do? Surely there was...
Oh, well, I used to swing from the trees, ride down the Yarra on a rubber tube, all that sort of stuff.
So we'd love your memory, including our first special guest, Colleen Hewitt. Good evening, Colleen.
Good evening, Bruce. Good evening, Phil. How you doing?
Oh, hi, Colleen. Good to talk to you.
Where were you brought up, Colleen?
Yeah, lovely to hear your voices.
Where were you brought up, Colleen?
I was born in Bendigo, and my first address was in Moore Street in Bendigo. When I was about, 2 or 3 years of age, I believe, we moved down to Langton Street, Glenroy. And out in those days, it was beautiful. It was just all rural. We used to go mushrooming, and the baker used to come with his horse and cart, and Iceman used to come. It was the days of lovely bottles of milk, where the magpie used to make a hole in the top of the bottle to drink the cream.
The cream.
It was just beautiful, beautiful days.
And, bringing back those days of, you went blackberrying, did you? What did you say you...
Mushrooming.
Mushrooming, yeah. That brought back so many of that stuff we used to do. The blackberrying and mushrooming, as you say. Because there were so many paddocks around.
Yeah. Well, that's right. And I don't know, I suppose the birds were responsible for placing all the blackberries and strawberries and, grapevines even out along the back parts of Glenroy. It was just absolutely, it was an orchard. And, but there weren't that many houses out there at that stage. We later returned to Bendigo, which is when I started my singing career, when I was about to turn 12. So, yeah, I love going back to Bendigo. I've got a little house up there that my mum and dad built.
Isn't that lovely?
A little mud brick place.
Yeah.
So,
that's gorgeous. What was Dad's car? Can you remember?
Oh gosh, my father never had a car until later. He used to get around everywhere on his bike. He used to go to work, and when we were living in Glenroy, and I had to catch the bus to my school, so I used to walk past, and he'd be hanging out of the window, waving to me, and I'd be so scared that he was going to fall down. But he didn't have a car until later, and even then I wouldn't have even known what it was. It was some little dumpy thing, you know.
What was Dad's job up there, Colleen?
Well, my dad used to work in a flour mill, where they made seed and flour. He used to bag it. So it was a very hard job, and later on, but he come from a farming background, and that was always his love, and which he returned to when we did go back to Bendigo. So, it was great. But I really have no downsides to my growing up time. I loved every move my parents took us on. Everything was an adventure, and I hope that I've done that with my own kids.
Did you go to school in Bendigo, or had you moved to Glenroy by that time?
I moved to Glenroy when I was about 2 or 3. So I hadn't started school then, Brucey.
Right, okay.
But I went to a couple of schools in Melbourne, and then a couple of Catholic schools, and then a girls' school, and then finally we went back to Bendigo, and I was expelled from the 3 girls, the schools that I went to in Bendigo. So didn't have a good track record with school because I was a bit sidetracked with singing. Right?
Oh yes, you would be. You'd have loathed school.
I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I found it to be such a waste of my time.
So did I. I could hardly wait.
The nuns just didn't appreciate me, having to learn songs in class and play men's rule basketball and all that. It was just like, why are you dictating all this stuff to me? And I don't know about all these stories about God and stuff, I've got my beliefs, but I didn't believe a few. I thought they were telling me a few porkies there along the way.
So you obviously didn't plan to become a nun, Colleen Hewitt.
Oh, definitely. No. But I had later on some beautiful Sister Janet Mead when I recorded Day by Day.
Oh.
Sister Janet Mead had the Lord's Prayer out, so we used to do a few shows together. No. I had many beautiful nuns in my friendship.
Did you have brothers and sisters? Was Mum looking after a big family?
I had my oldest brother, Des, who was still in Bendigo, alive and well, and my younger sister, Glenys, a beautiful singer, and now is in a job doing looking after, doing care for the elderly or disabled and all that, just out of Bendigo. So. Yeah, but we are on this level now. We've lost our mum and dad, Ramona and Earl. So, I guess you start to look at it that way, do you, boys? I don't know. I'm a little inexperienced with this side of life.
I met your father at the Collingwood match on one occasion. Darren James and I were doing a special morning, and your dad was there.
Yes, yes, he would have been.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we were related to the Roses. Bobby Rose was his first cousin.
Is that right?
And, yes. So, Oh, yes. There was no way any of us kids were going to barrack for anybody else but the Pies. And still do.
Okay, you say you're a bit of a rebel at school, but were you good at sports?
No, I wasn't. No, the only thing I've ever really enjoyed doing is singing. It's just been my natural thing that I've always wanted to do. I knew when I first saw television that I was going to be on it. And I mean, I was 6. So I don't know whether that's called having a goal or, just following your dream. I don't know what it is, but I ended up doing it. I've been doing it for 51 years. And still doing it, and still loving doing it, and I don't see why I need to stop.
Well, I was the same with radio. I think from about 6 years of age, I knew I wanted to be on it.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's like everything that comes in your path then just seems to go, in hindsight, you look back at those things and you go, well, yes, I knew that this was going to be easy. I knew I was going to love it, and I knew it would be my lifetime only job. Mind you, Phil, I don't know about you, Bruce, but I had to go and work in McEwen's in the city because I needed to, get some money to buy shoes and little dresses and things to wear on stage. I worked in a fruit shop at Bendigo, a fish and chip shop. I was waitressing. I enjoyed all of those, but it was only a means to get myself tricked up for stage. And what I couldn't afford to buy, I used to knit or.
Well, I did exactly the same thing. I worked in Myers Bra Bar just to get some dosh and get a bit of money to get into radio.
Well, you have to look the part, Bruce. You couldn't walk in looking like a country bumpkin.
No,
no. And in hindsight, looking back at those photos, I looked absolutely ridiculous with the hair in pigtails, but I just thought that I looked so groovy. Well, they were all doing the mod thing in the early 60s when I hit the stage, so.
Well, imagine how I looked in the bar of bras.
I'd love to see that.
I want to go back to Bendigo for a moment. In your childhood, do they still have a general store there? And did you grow up listening to Radio 3BO?
Oh, gosh, yes. 3BO, absolutely. Still alive and well. In fact, I think, I've got to investigate this. I'm still sure that they play a singing like 3BO, that sort of thing, with my sister and I, and we would have done that. She would have been 13, I would have been about 14. I'm absolutely convinced it's still the same little, 3BO, whatever those things are.
Yeah, those radio jingles, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm positive it still is. And if it's not, someone has copied it absolutely 100%.
Did you go in for any...
We had the general store. I'll never forget the place in Bendigo. Now, oh, God, I could smell Peter's ice cream the minute we'd walk in the door, and the little bell would ring above the door.
Yeah.
I can't remember the lady's name, but, she used to always give me a penny's worth of lollies, and I wouldn't tell my grandma. And, of course, I didn't realise that my mouth was less black from the licorice all sorts and the aniseed balls.
Yeah.
ice cream dripping down my, down the front of my little dress and whatever.
Did you
I'm
go?
really enjoying it. I'm loving this flashback, boys.
Yeah.
I've just got to tell you, I listen to you both, as you're probably aware. I listen to 3AW all the time. It's on everywhere, at the house, in the car, wherever I go.
Oh, good.
And I've listened to your Remember When segments so many times, and I just feel that it's just so lovely to bring all that stuff back.
Lovely thing. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, nice talking. Did you ever go in for any radio contests where you tried your luck at singing, like at 3BO or somewhere?
No, I've never really been big on competitions. Still, I was a bit uncomfortable with all that sort of thing, and years later, found judging people on new faces and things like that, and it really was awful, because you sort of had to be, well, you had to be dead honest, sort of, but you couldn't hurt their feelings, and so I'd sort of give a bit of advice or whatever, or acknowledge how fabulous they were once I got off here. Just grab them and have a bit of talk to them.
Yeah.
Television is such an amazing area. Obviously, we all remember going down and taking our little plastic chairs down, or cushions, down late at night. It was probably only 7 o'clock, and watching television through the little shop down the street when television first came out. We'd go down every night. Couldn't hear it, but we'd just watch it.
Sitting in the gutter in a deck chair in your pyjamas.
Well, just at the front of, one of those little, television-type radio vacuum cleaner type shops.
Yes, that's right. Colleen, lovely talking to you. I know you're speaking to us in Fiji, I think, at the moment.
I am, and I can barely hear you because we've had rain now this is the 5th day, and it just will not, it's relentless. I don't know where this stuff comes from. The clouds surely must be nearly empty. It's just amazing. It's flooding all around the place.
We haven't had a drop in Melbourne since, I think, December.
Oh, no.
It's as dry as a chip.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Well, they do say that if you leave your car dirty, I remember the drought back in the 70s where they were trying to convince us that if we left our cars dirty, it protected the
That's right.
vehicles.
And you'd have JBLK Peterson doing a rain dance in Queensland. All right, Colleen.
I can do that. I can go out and work last week.
We'll leave it there, and thank you so much for your memories of Bendigo and Glenroy and that singing. Thanks so much.
Good on you. Thank you so much, Bruce. Bye-bye, Phil.
See you in Safeway. See you in Safeway, Colleen.
20 minutes to 10.